Of late, but I wanted to get on here and do a live stream specifically about the Built to Be Heard series that I just recently started. And today's subject is going to be about the hidden weight that some of us carry. And I'm not talking about body weight per se. Okay. I'm talking about maybe some invisible challenges or invisible in the sense that other people are not seeing, not aware, that, some of us may be caring for parents, right? Some of us may be caring for children and or loved ones. Some may have their own health challenges or helping loved ones navigate health challenges. And I just feel that it's a subject that a lot of people don't speak about, and that's why I think, today's going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to be talking about certain algorithms or, you know, what kind of content you should post or the AI and the automation. Like, I'm not going to be speaking about that, but I wanted to just welcome you to have a conversation. Perhaps you are a leader that is navigating through some challenges, through some rough waters, or maybe someone that is. And I feel like that there are so many leaders, I know there are, that may be showing up for work. They may be showing up for work and have their own side gig. They're showing up for their families. They're showing up for their communities, right? Whether it be virtual or, in real life. They're showing up, for their businesses. Yet, many of us at the times when we're going through these challenges, we may not feel heard. We may not feel seen. We may not want to be heard or seen, especially if we're navigating some challenges behind the scenes. Maybe we're relocating or going through a life change or, with a divorce or something. But, it's super important, especially in today's AI era, right? That we recognize that there are humans that are behind that content. There are humans that are behind the live stream, behind the masterminds that they're guiding. And, you know, I think that there are a lot of unspoken words, right? That, that then that burden just kind of sits on those leaders' shoulders. And if you're like me, I am a person that, does not like drama, and I do not like to complain. And in that sense, it's like I want to look at the bright side of things, understanding that, I'm certainly not a Pollyanna by any, shape or form. However, I do like to look at the bright side of things. So I don't, you know, want to complain or, talk about the not so good stuff because I feel like that transfers, if it's a burden for me or if I'm worried about it, if it's a worrisome thing, then I feel like I'm somehow transferring that to someone else. And, that's something that I've worked on over the years. And maybe some of you can relate, but, it's not good to not have anyone to talk about that with. And, journaling can certainly help because it gets what's in your head out onto the paper. But I just feel that in today's world, because it is so, tech driven and, there are a lot of things that aren't seen, even if we are being visible, if we are doing content or we are doing live streams, there are many things that aren't seen or talked about. And I guess I really started, thinking about this years ago when I would be at the airport, like, especially for like emergency trips when my mom was sick. or emergency trips when my dad was sick. Because I remember thinking, wow, here I am. I'm on my way to see my mom. She's not doing that well. I wonder how she's going to be. And, it just got me thinking, like, there are other humans that are, maybe going to go see their mom too, or, they're going to, help a loved one get through some challenging times, whatever that case is. And, you know, we all know that we don't know what it's like to walk in other people's shoes. But I feel that, if we're recognizing, if we're maybe more aware of it, then we can support each other. And, we can just be there for each other. Now, I'm not a mindset coach, I'm not a life coach, I'm a growth strategist. But the thing, and I say that because while I've done a lot of my own mindfulness and meditation and breath work and all of those things, I don't coach clients on that. I do have adjunct coaches that help and can certainly, join together as a team approach. But no matter what area of specialty we're in, we need to take care of ourselves, because that will allow us to serve others at a higher level. And I know that, if you are a leader seeking to serve, you most likely are thinking about everyone else besides yourself. So that's why, we end up showing up for our families, for our communities, for, different, our friends who may need us, and our work colleagues. But sometimes we don't show up enough for ourselves. And that can be proven because, like, a lot of people, they may see your smile, but they don't really know, what it took to get you in front of that camera, or, on that podium, behind that podium speaking. Uh, you know, People may see our businesses successful, but they don't know, and they haven't seen the sleepless nights, right? Or the sacrifices that we have made to get to, where we are right now, right? So I really think, just the conversation that I wanted to start or have you think about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, is just about, the human to human. I mean, we've heard for years, right? We've had a lot of pressure on us, like, and this is not to say that it's not important to, if you have a brick and mortar business or you have an online business. I mean, people, you can't help people if they don't know you exist. So it is important to do all these things. But for years we've been told, oh yes, we need to be omnipresent, we need to create more, we need to do more. And I really believe the answer, now is that we need to make sure that we are not forgetting ourselves in all these things, that we're showing up for. And I'm here to tell you that, super important, because you matter, and you will be able to help people at an even higher level if you're taking care of yourself. And for some of you, you're like, yeah, I'm sure you've got this. You know that it's super important to take care of yourselves. You're putting yourself first. You're having boundaries. But I guess I'm speaking to the people that maybe have, been struggling with boundaries. You know, Maybe there's a family member that is, navigating through some rough waters or some, life challenges. And it's difficult, especially with people, in your family, because you may not want to have boundaries, and in today's world, it's like, you know, um, everything is impacted some way, shape, or form, because, as well as I do, if you have a business, or you have a W-2 position, you're carrying a sales quota, if you're navigating some challenges outside of your business or your sales territory, it's quite natural that, there can be some impact, right? There can be some impact to your results, because you may not feel that great sometimes. You may be drained from whatever it is, the invisible burden, the invisible weights that you're carrying. And I'm certainly not talking about the, dumbbells at the gym. I'm talking about, the life challenges or whatever you're helping other people navigate through. So, all of us, we're human. We need to be reminded of these things. And I don't hear a lot of people speaking about them. And I think that it's important that even if, we're not in the mindset area specialty, or we're not in the life coach area specialty, I think it's important, no matter what area of specialty we're in, that we recognize that, we are humans behind the business. And we need to make sure that we are serving ourselves, taking that time to regroup, to recharge our batteries. And if you are introverted like me, you know that we introverts like to recharge alone. And that was something I learned when I was running a lot of races when I was younger. Not so much in track, but like after track. After college, even. So I would run my race, and then I would go off by myself, like not like too far away, but just so I had some peace and quiet, and I could like center myself again and be thankful, that I finished in a vertical position, and, whatever it was I was reflecting on, or say a prayer. But that was how I was able to like recharge and gather myself. Whereas other people, depending on your personality type, you may want to be right there in that mix with all those people. And that's how you recharge, right? Because super important. And maybe you don't even know how maybe you haven't figured that out yet. Um, I, you know, everybody kind of learns, right, at their own pace. And some people just go with the flow. But I would encourage you to figure out, when do you and how do you recharge your energy? Like, if you are at conferences all day for work, are you the type of person that likes to go wherever all the people are at night and kind of, recharge and talk about the day, or, listen to their stories? Like, maybe that's how you recharge your energy. Okay. Now, me and like more, because I'm more introverted, I like to be alone. Like, I don't even need like TV on or anything. I can reflect on the day. I can do some meditation or some mindfulness. That's what recharges me. And then I feel ready to go in the morning after I work out, because like I need that for uh my focus and my mind and all of that. But I would just encourage everyone to, really recognize yourself or other people. That, we may be carrying invisible burdens that maybe a lot of people don't know about, maybe nobody knows about, and we're human, right? So we need to make sure that we're coming together, that we are, somehow supported by each other, that you're not alone in this. And, I truly believe that there are no coincidences. I believe that we gather together, or, I may find you or you find me, or, whatever the case may be, because it is what it is supposed to be. Like, I just don't believe in coincidences. And I am going to be doing another live stream next week. That is going to be a private Zoom event. So if you would like to join us, if you'd like to carry on the conversation, please DM me the word herd, HEARD, and I'll make sure that you get the invite. I'd love to hear more about your story. And if you would like to continue on the conversation even before, the next live stream, because what I'm really focusing on doing in June is, connecting with as many people as possible that are, very interested in building their audience, or really being heard and seen by the right people, because that's the thing. We could have a large following, but if we're not in the right rooms with the right people, we're not going to help as many people as we could. If we if we find those right people in the right rooms, we will be able to help more people. But that said, right, tonight was really about making sure that you recognize that you are human, and you may be carrying some invisible weight that no one else sees. Maybe only you see it. Maybe you're the only one that really recognizes and feels it. But I'm looking to build a community of people that do want to be heard and seen and earning more revenue and recognition, but focusing on the human first in today's AI era. Because I think it's even more important than ever, because people can make faceless AI videos. We don't even know what they're challenged with, right? We don't even know the shoes that they're walking in, that they could be juggling so many different challenges. They could be trying to care for parents and younger children, and we just don't know, right? Because we don't know how it is to work and to work, well, to work or to walk in other people's shoes. So I would just encourage you to, please, continue the conversation with me if you feel like this is something that really connected with you, or maybe someone that is certainly juggling lots of different things. Just know that you and they are not alone, and I really want to focus on building our community with like-minded leaders that are really looking to, do more good in the world with whatever your area of specialty is. Because I also want to remind you that, if you are a leader, whether that be a sales leader in a company, or if you are a leader in your own business, whatever the case is, only you can help your people in that specific way, because there is only one of you. So that being said, maybe some of you, I feel, needed to hear that today, to know that you matter. So, even though you are doing so much good and you're showing up for your community, you're showing up for your children's events, you're showing up for your parents, for your relatives, for all of these other people and communities, but are you showing up for yourself enough? Are you taking the time that you need and deserve to work out? Are you taking the time to take that walk? Are you taking that time to meditate if you're into that? Or to do your breath work, which is a game changer, right? If anybody else has done breath work, I, s- I've done it like, sporadically over the years, but starting in 2024, I really got dialed into it, because I had an emergency eye surgery, and even though it was emergency and it was scary, I kind of got like this aftermath, and I was finding myself, really anxious. A lot of the reason, because like there's so much unknown when you go through something like that. And I knew, like, I was having, like, physical symptoms, right? I was, like, getting tingling, all of that. So anyways, so I went I knew where I needed to go, my doctor, then I went to a neurologist because I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have anything else going on. But sure enough, it was anxiety. And so the breath work was a game changer. Everybody probably should be doing breath work because I think it just like, if we catch ourselves doing shallow breathing, it makes sense when you think about it. When you stop and think about it, we don't want to do shallow breathing because, all of our organs are not getting all the oxygen that they need. And when I started focusing on my breath work 2 years ago, I didn't even realize that I was not breathing fully, but when I did that, and now I do it every day, game changer. So that's not what I came on here to talk about, obviously, but I just wanted everyone to know that if you or someone are carrying, those invisible burdens, that you can still be heard and seen in a community, whether or not you want to talk about the details or whatever the case is, because sometimes those invisible burdens are holding us back. And we may say, well, when we get over this tough period, then I'm really going to go all in. Or, when I get through, navigating this challenge, then we're going to go all in. Well, sometimes that's not the way to do it. And, there are so many different ways that we can navigate it, but I feel that, if we have a community and we realize that we're, humans behind that content, we're humans behind the videos, I feel that we'll be able to understand each other better. And this isn't about saying, oh my gosh, you need to talk about all your personal struggles. That's not the point, but just recognizing that, I mean, we could, like, obviously we can all be good listeners, but the point is that we need to recognize we don't know what other people are challenged with. And that even if they're putting out faceless videos, I mean, it's good to get to know that human, right? We still need to remember that we're human to human. So any kind of, relationship, collaboration, conversation, it needs to be human to human. AI and automation, of course, can help to scale things, to magnify things, but at the very foundation, at the basis of it, we need to make sure that we are still connecting with humans. We're connecting with our people. So message me if you would like to be invited to our live stream next week. It's still going to be the Built to Be Heard series. I'm going to be doing different topics to help people to get out there or to be heard in bigger ways, to accomplish your goals, but not forget that you matter. Okay. So message me the word heard, HEARD, if you'd like a private invite to a Zoom event. I'm going to be doing a mix of the public, like live streaming, and then the private Zoom events, because we want to be able to do some networking with each other and, know that we're all in this together and we can all help each other. Right. So I will leave you with that. Know that you are so important and your area of specialty and what you're doing in the world matters. So make sure you take care of yourself and you take care of the people you love. And you are one of those people. So I will talk to everyone soon. I hope that you all have a good evening and a wonderful Thursday.